Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into something fundamental for anyone online. On-page SEO. It's sort of that unseen engine, determining if people actually find your stuff. Okay, so let's unpack this. If you've put effort into building anything online, maybe a blog, your business site, whatever it is, you obviously want people to find it. And today, we're diving right into the the bedrock of making that happen. On-page SEO.
Exactly. And for our listeners who are, likely past the 101 stage, on-page SEO isn't just tidying up. It's more like designing a really efficient system for delivering your content semantically. It's about very fine-grained control over how search engines see and value your content from the inside out. This really sets the stage for everything else you do with SEO. We're talking optimizing for user experience on a micro level, which, directly ties into things like core web vitals, and making sure your content signals its intent so clearly that search engines see it as the obvious answer for certain searches.
All right. So our mission today is really to cut through any remaining fuzziness, pull out the really key actionable stuff from our source, the importance of on-page SEO, and give you a clear, maybe more advanced picture of what on-page SEO really involves now, why it's just essential, always evolving, and pinpoint the sophisticated bits you need to nail to not just get seen, but ideally to really lead in your space. Think of this as your shortcut to being seriously clued in on a digital skill that genuinely impacts your results.
Okay, so on-page SEO, we hear it all the time. But for our audience who already get the basics, what's maybe a common misunderstanding about, or like what often gets missed when people first define it? That's actually super important to really get it.
Oh, that's a great point. Because the definition, it's definitely grown up alongside the search engines themselves. At its heart, it's still optimizing the stuff you control on your own website. But a common slip up is thinking it's just about, sprinkling keywords around. It's much, much bigger than that now. It covers not just the words you see, but technical things too. Site structure, how it works on mobile, page speed, even how different pieces of content relate to each other semantically. It's really about making your site super clear, relevant, and authoritative, not just a keyword dumping ground.
I like that library analogy for structure, but thinking about it more, in a real library, people usually have a good idea what they're looking for, right? How does on-page SEO help search engines and then, users figure out not just the topic, but the intent behind the content, even before clicking?
Yeah, it's all about signaling that intent. So beyond just clear labels, a well-optimized page uses a whole bunch of signals. Things like clear headings, well-researched keywords, sure, but also a logical internal linking structure. All these things tell a search engine, look, this page thoroughly covers this specific user need. And when Google sees you've kind of anticipated questions, given solid answers, and made it easy to read and access, it gets confident matching your page to even complex searches, not just, basic keyword phrases.
We should probably quickly touch on off-page SEO again, just to keep things clear.
Yeah.
On-page is what we craft on our site. Off-page is more about those outside signals, right? Like backlinks, social mentions, stuff we influence but don't directly control. It's kind of like perfecting your product versus getting great reviews from others.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better. On-page is the internal quality, the product itself. Off-page is the outside world agreeing it's good. You definitely need both. But you won't get real, lasting, external nods without that solid internal foundation first.
And the source mentions how that's evolved too. Remember Google authorship? That was a thing once. Now is a wider mix of signals from all over.
And just connecting it to the bigger picture, inbound marketing, which isn't just selling, it's about drawing people in, right? By creating genuinely useful stuff that speaks to what they need. On-page SEO is basically the engine driving that organic discovery, finding you through help, not hype. Okay, so we get the what's. Now let's really dig in here. Why should on-page SEO be right at the very top of your strategy list? What's the huge deal? Why is it non-negotiable today? The huge deal, I think, is its role as the absolute foundation, the bedrock, like you said, of any SEO strategy that's built to last. It's the basic work that makes sure search engines can even figure out what your content is about in the first place. Without solid on-page work, all your other efforts, building links, social media buzz, even paid ads, they're kind of built on shaky ground. You're essentially improving the user experience right at the source, making your site easy for algorithms to grasp without always needing that complex, often expensive backlink chase, especially when you're starting out. It's the control lever you can pull directly.
Right. It's the ultimate control point you have. So if you're serious about being found online, making sure your content hits the right audience, the people actually searching for what you offer.
Yeah.
This isn't just step one. It's your key strategic edge, constantly needing attention. It really is the difference between shouting into the void and being heard as a trusted voice.
Precisely. Our source really hammers this home. If you're not deeply invested in on-page SEO, you're not just missing out, you're actively holding your site back. It's the difference between just being online and actually being a go-to resource. And that translates directly into, well, better rankings, more of the right kind of traffic, and ultimately more conversions.
Yeah.
Because the people finding you are the ones looking for your exact solutions. We're talking about optimizing for keywords that actually matter to your business. Yeah, but also making sure every page has unique, valuable stuff and that it works beautifully on any device people use, desktops, phones, tablets. That multi-device thing, it's not just nice to have, it's core for ranking now.
Okay, so if the why is crystal clear, let's shift to the how for people wanting to really put this into action. What are the absolute must-dos our source points to? The specific things we need to optimize on our sites?
Operationally, it means being really careful with both content and the technical side. So strategically using your main keywords and related ones too, not just in the text, but definitely in your page titles, your headers, your URLs. And importantly, treating your images like actual content for SEO, giving them relevant descriptive file names, alt tags, and even image meta descriptions so they can be found. And overarching all of this, sticking closely to Google's guidelines for high-quality, user-focused content. Anything less is just leaving opportunity on the table.
It's pretty amazing how basic things like using heading tags properly, H1 down to H6, do so much. They guide people reading, sure. But they also tell search engine crawlers what's important. It's not just for looks, is it? I remember this one site ages ago, just a massive wall of text, no headings, good info, but totally invisible to search engines.
Oh, a perfect example of why structure is king. Headings give semantic clues. Your H1, that should usually be the main topic, right? Use your main keyword there. It tells Google, this page is about this. Right?
Yeah.
Your H2s, H3s, they break it down into logical chunks. That hierarchy helps algorithms see how the parts relate, making your content seem more relevant for trickier searches. And same goes for images, that descriptive alt text. It's vital, not just for accessibility, which is super important, but it tells search engines what the picture shows, letting them index it for image searches. That's basically another way for people to find you.
Which leads us to another key piece, the title tag. The source says it's the very first thing people see. So what's the deeper strategy there beyond just shoving in a keyword?
Right. The title tag is like your page's headline on the search results page. It's crucial because it's probably the single strongest on-page signal to Google about what that page is specifically about for ranking. But for, advanced optimization, it's not just keywords, it's blending relevance with something that makes people want to click. Best practice is keep them short, under 70 characters so they don't get cut off. Use your main keywords smartly. But the real art is writing titles that show unique value, make people curious, clearly state the benefit of clicking, while still accurately reflecting the page content. Because if the title promises one thing and the page delivers another, people bounce. And that hurts your ranking, even if the keywords looked good.
Okay, and what about that little summary under the title in the search results, the meta description tag? Our source mentions it talks to both humans and machines. What's the smart way to write those for real impact?
The meta description. So it doesn't directly affect your ranking position, but it's absolutely key for getting people to actually click through from the results. For our listeners, the real trick is to think of it almost like ad copy, a mini call to action. Use strong verbs, maybe hint at the answer, highlight what makes your page special. And here's something interesting from the source, often overlooked. You can actually add meta description tags within your images too. This isn't just the alt text, it's extra metadata. Apparently, this can significantly boost how discoverable your images are and add context.
Wait, meta descriptions in images, how does that actually work? What does that unlock?
Yeah, it's about embedding more detailed context right into the image's code. So when that image gets indexed or queried, it can potentially offer a richer snippet of information, telling both the user and the search engine more about it. And crucially, you still want relevant keywords in there too, helps reinforce the page topic. Oh, and keep the main page meta description between, say, 150 and 160 characters so it displays properly online. Every word counts.
The sources also talk about keyword density, how often keywords pop up. It's not about stuffing, right? I've heard that can actually get you penalized. I definitely remember seeing sites that just crammed keywords everywhere, sounded awful, like a robot. How do you strike that balance now, especially with Google's AI getting so good at understanding meaning?
Exactly. Keyword stuffing is a definite no-no. Google's algorithms, especially things like BERT and now MUM, they're incredibly sophisticated. They don't just count words, they understand semantics, context, user intent. So keyword density matters, but not as some rigid target percentage. It's more like an indicator to search engines that your page is genuinely relevant to a topic. The goal isn't hitting a number, it's using your keywords and related terms naturally within comprehensive content. Think about using synonyms, LSI keywords, terms related semantically, phrases an expert would naturally use. That signals deep understanding and authority, which Google likes way more than just repeating keywords. It's about natural language, not just counting.
Okay, so we've covered these crucial parts, but let's face it. For someone busy, maybe still learning the ropes, spending enough time on all this optimization can seem overwhelming. What are some maybe more advanced resources or strategies if time is really tight?
Yeah, that's a really common issue. For those really short on time, the options for help with on-page SEO have really improved. Beyond just hiring someone, think about specialized tools that do more than basic checks. There are AI-powered platforms now that can analyze what top competitors are doing, find semantic keyword gaps, things like that, or technical SEO crawlers that dig deep into everything from broken links to image sizes messing with your core web vitals. These tools can find things in minutes that might take you ages manually. They give you really specific actions. And tying this to the bigger picture, the content management system, your CMS that you use, that makes a huge difference. If you're on something like WordPress, the plugins available, think Yoast SEO Premium, Rank Math, they offer really powerful features now. They do more than just give you a green light. They can help with schema markup, suggest internal links based on your content, even let you test different title tags or meta descriptions right there. It's really about using smart technology to handle the heavy lifting, find opportunities, and flag risks before they become big problems. They're almost like having an extra team member.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you listening in? We've established on-page SEO as that absolute critical foundation. It's what search engines process first to understand your content's relevance and authority way before deciding where, or even if, to rank you.
That's right. On-page SEO is really paramount. It's where you should focus first and keep refining to boost your rankings and get more of that valuable organic traffic. It covers all those key internal bits we talked about: smart title tags, click-worthy meta descriptions, logical heading structures, optimized images with good alt text, and maybe even those image meta descriptions, and using keywords naturally, contextually. All these pieces work together to show Google and other search engines what your content offers, making sure it reaches the right people.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the finer points of on-page SEO. We really hope you feel more equipped now to boost your own site's visibility and impact.
And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. If we agree, on-page SEO is the essential internal structure, the quality of your digital house. How well could a website with technically perfect on-page optimization like a truly flawless internal setup actually perform long-term in a competitive field if it completely ignores off-page factors? You know, things like building genuine external links, fostering a community around it. Is internal perfection ever truly enough on its own without that external validation? Something to think about.
That's a great question to leave folks with. Keep exploring, keep optimizing, and keep diving deep with us. We'll catch you next time.
Austin CodeMonkey delivers expert web design and SEO services for businesses that want more calls, more leads, and more jobs. Our SEO strategies ensure your online presence keeps growing and bringing in results. For more information, call 737-932-7532 or visit our website at austincodemonkey.com.